So the question is how my heritage helped me in my career. This is very interesting. My background wasn't based on US. All my life I lived in Brazil, in São Paulo. And São Paulo is a city with 20 million people living in. So São Paulo is the largest Italian city out of Italy, is the largest Chinese city out of China. So it's an amazing place where you have different cultures, different people living together, have major problems. I live in a city in a country with a hyperinflation. So inflation, I remember, was 35–40% a month. So it was in 4 digits at the end of the year. And all this background, all this experience gave me some leverage when I came to US in 2001, when I came for my MBA. When I came for my MBA in 2001, I had, my English was terrible, to say the least. And it was interesting. In Brazil, I was a consultant, and I was very comfortable talking to people and talking to executives from Fortune 500 companies in Brazil, trying to sell solutions and tell them what to do, how to do. And suddenly I realized that when I came to US, my biggest strength, my communication, was probably my biggest weakness. So I had to reinvent myself. I had to understand what else I could do to differentiate myself from other amazing professionals we have here. And all this experience from Brazil, all my background, was something that I could really leverage. So because of, I lived in this country with such diversity, with social problems, social gaps, with a crazy economy sometimes, I had unique experiences. So I realized I was very good in finance because of all the situation in Brazil. Realized I was great interacting to people and being very creative in the way we deal with people and we deal with problems. Because sometimes in Brazil we don't have resources to address properly a specific problem, and we are creative in the way we do things. So I leverage all this. Also, in Brazil we are very open in our communication. We talk to everyone about everything. I remember being in Brazil interviewing for jobs, and I had interviews that last for 3 hours talking about religion. So that's something that I would never, I'm sure it would never happen in US, for example. But all this, the way we talk, the things we talk about, gave me an advantage in talking to people and asking questions. So I was very inquisitive. Whenever I saw a problem, I try to understand why the problem was there and start asking questions, why we do things the way we do. So that's the way I leverage my career. Also, you asked me about how, if ever I felt that my career, I had a problem because I was a Latino living in US. And yes, I did had some specific problems, some obstacles I had to overcome. For example, I had, as soon as I graduated from the MBA, I went to work for different companies. And in one of the companies, for example, people thought I had an accent, and my manager, and I do have an accent by the way, but my manager said, you know, you did a great work, but I'm afraid the executives will not like very much, or they are not comfortable with your accent, so I would like another person to present your work. And that was very shocking for me. And more than occasion that happened. Also, I had people patronizing me, saying, you ask a lot of questions, but you know this is not good for you because you're not from here, you're not from US, so you don't understand corporate America, how we do business, how it works. And in fact, most of the time I was trying to learn and trying to offer different explanations, different models based on my heritage, based on my experiences. So we had a lot of problems. I had a lot of problems in the beginning of my career or even along my career. And I just work with these people. Instead of running away from them, avoiding them, I work with them. just to show the potential of someone who comes from another country, what they can help, how they can help, what they can improve in their process, bringing fresh thoughts. And sometimes I just realized that people were afraid of having people coming from other cultures and who were not thinking the same way. They were not in a completely agreement sometimes. So I showed them the value of having fresh perspectives and how we could work together and build something bigger than having just one point of view. So that was a long process. Changing people is not easy, but it's something that we all that come from different countries, it's a challenge for us, but something we really have to do if we want to build a better society. Yes, talking about Latino leaders and role models, who would be my role model? There are so many Latinos that are in great positions in US, and Latinos in business, Latinos in the media, in Hollywood and everywhere, politicians. We have several mayors from big cities in US that are Latino. So it's great that Latinos are growing in US, and people are accepting, and it's not like Latinos are adapting to the American culture. It's quite the opposite. Americans are adapting to the Latino culture because they realize Latinos they are a big market in US. So they want to understand. Being Latino right now is very cool to be a Latino. So it's a great moment to be a Latino. And I look back when I was in the water business. I used to work for Nestle Waters. And when I start there, I try to understand how the water business worked, how the industry worked, and what shaped the industry, the whole beverage industry in the past. And I found, for example, Roberto Goizueta. He was the CEO for Coca-Cola for 17 years. Roberto was a great leader. He brought Coca-Cola from a $4 billion company to a $150 billion company. So he had a vision. He came to this country from Cuba with nothing, just a couple of dollars in his pockets, and he helped transform the entire industry. But more than that, he also understood his role in society. He wanted to do something bigger than the business itself, the business piece. He wanted to contribute to the society. And if I'm not wrong, in 1992, he created the Goizueta Foundation. And that's a foundation that gives back to society in terms of education and supporting those in need. And I really like the idea that leaders today, they understand that they are not alone in the world. It's not money and power is not just a measure of success. They understand that there is more in success. And they want to give back. And I try to do the same. I try to mirror myself using Roberto as an example, and be bold, believe in an idea, have a vision, try to change the world. And although I still don't have a resource to have a foundation of my own, hopefully in the future I will, but I try to do whatever I can to help society. For example, I'm an author of a couple books, and all these business books that I wrote, I never got a dime for them. All the proceeds from the books, they go to foundations helping children with special needs. So I'm trying to do my share, and I think if we all work together, all the leaders help in this process, society will be much better. Advice for the young generation of supply chain people. I think it's great whenever we talk to the next generation, what they are doing and their vision of the world, their ambitions. And I think sometimes we underestimate the younger generation. We think that they are not aware of what's going on in the world, but I believe they are. much more than what we think. They understand that we live in a global world right now, that everything's connected, and this is great. And I see a lot of people trying to get involved with as many things as they can. That's the generation where we see a lot of networking going on with handhelds and computers and every kind of device. They are very good in communicating to a lot of people. They understand mass communication like no one. So it's great people trying to get involved, and that's, I guess, the first advice. Get involved with associations. Find your passion. What's your passion? If it's supply chain, if it's logistics, if it's specific industry. As soon as you can find what you want to do in the future, you can get involved with people with similar interests, and you can together, you can help each other to grow. So that's the first thing. The second, whenever you see something that may be wrong, or whenever you see a problem, don't run away from the problem. Go to the problem, try to fix, take ownership, be a leader. So be bold, be a leader, and be nice, like Nina Vaca told to us today about being nice as something that everyone, every leader, every person should be doing, because that's I guess one of the traits of a big leader. It's a great leader. They try to be nice. They want to improve society. So be nice. Believe that you can change the world, because you can. You're the future. So whatever you want to do, if you have a vision, try to involve people on the problems. Try to come up with solutions, and be nice.